Bitcoin is here to stay and will not disappear, says Tom Lee from Fundstrat. It is so important in times like this when we have all this chaos, right? Swings to the upside, swings to the downsides, folks getting liquidated left and right. In situations like this, it's so important to take a step back, right? Get a broader view of the market so that you can navigate it as efficiently as possible. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. We're going to go over some really great tweets by Anthony Pompliano that's going to keep us on track because, guys, that is the most important part of navigating crypto right now is staying on track. There's so much fear, right? If you log on to Twitter right now, everybody's talking about, is the bull run over? Is this it? Are we going to have if we're going to top in Q1? Have we already had a top? Guys, keep your eyes on the prize and stay on track. That is what we are going to talk about in this video. But before we get started, if you guys get any value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe. It really helps out. Turn on noties so you'll see more content like this in the future. I respect your guys' time. We are just going to jump right into it. We're looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles here right now, okay? And I figured this was really important for us to look at these today. And for those who aren't familiar, the Heikin-Ashi candles, these utilize some moving averages to smooth out price fluctuations, right? Makes it easier to look at trends by filtering out the noise. And that's kind of going to be the theme for this video, filtering out the noise. So yes, we can look at Bitcoin, and we're going to look at Bitcoin on another chart here later, but I just want to look at the Heikin-Ashi candles right here. Again, we're filtering out some of the noise because that's what the market is right now. It's noisy, it's chaotic. And I just want to take a look back on the weekly chart. And let me get your guys' take on this. From the end of 2022 until now, we've been straight up, right? We have been straight up since the end of 2022, which is kind of wild, right? And this, to me, this little consolidation, this looks par for the course, right? It really does. If we look at this, again, we're on the Heikin-Ashi candles here. This little consolidation here looks pretty similar to like middle of 2020 to me, right? And I know there are different parts in the market, right? That was a pre-halving year. This is a post-halving year. They're different, but just looking at this chart, and we're going to break down this chart a little bit further here in just a second. This does not show any concern for me. This is just some normal consolidation before macroeconomic events change, and then we ride back up. So we talked about Heikin-Ashi candles. I want to show you guys this chart because I thought this was really interesting. Again, we're looking at the end of 2022, and I made these circles yellow for a reason, right? I kind of think of it as like a stop sign, or excuse me, like stoplights, right? Red means stop, yellow means, okay, let's slow down. Let's just take a look at what's going on in the market. And then green means let's go, right? So look at this consolidation period that we had the end of 2022, right? Just some chop sideways, and then we had a big jump up. And then guess what? We started 2023 just this chop sideways. Again, when we look back on the daily candle, this just looks like a chop sideways and then a big run up, right? Then the majority of 2023, for the most part, just some chop sideways. Again, when we zoom out, all this looks like is chop sideways. Big jump up to end 2023, some chop sideways going into 2024, big increases here. And this was the ETFs getting approved, right? Then we just survived this. This was kind of the summer of 2024, right? We just got throughout all of this. This week down, this was the carry trade, the yen trade unwinding. And then we have this big jump up here to the end of 2024. And now we're just chopping sideways. And just, just from an academic perspective, what happens if we copy this and we clone this here? Kind of puts us around 150-ish. More, give or take. And I know this is a very improper example, but I think this kind of gives us some insight. It allows us to take a step back and realize where we are in the cycle. We're in the post-halving year 2025. We still have, if the 4 cycle is going to remain in the 4-year cycle is going to remain intact, we have to the end of Q4. We might even have an extended cycle this year because of the ETFs. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, right? I'm just a guy on the internet. But looking at this chart, I think it's going to be okay, right? It would be way too early for the bull cycle to end, especially when we look at dominance. Dominance is way too high for us to be done here, right? The cycle historically, let's take a look at this on the weekly chart. We historically don't end the cycle until 40s. Guys, we're in the 60s right now. So I don't want to harp too much on this, but honestly, if we look at the Bitcoin, where we at with those channels that we just drew, I think we got a long ways to go. I really like this tweet from Anthony Pompliano. This gives us some insight, guys. It gives us the fortitude to look forward, right? To see what we have. So he tweeted this out December 2nd, 2018. Want to get your kids a life-changing Christmas gift? Buy them Bitcoin and explain why it's important. They'll thank you later. Guys, when he tweeted this, Bitcoin was under $4,000. We just looked. It's 96, 97 right now. It hit 109. That's a 25, 26, 27x from just 6 or 7 years ago. Pretty wild, right? So I thought this tweet gives us a ton of insight into where we need to be. If this tweet was 7 years ago and we're at 25x from there, what happens 7 years from now when it's 2032? Could we be a 25x from here? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but in 7 years, would you be surprised if Bitcoin was $1 million? I would not be surprised if that was the case, right? In 7 years, I would be, if you're to tell me, hey, Bitcoin's 1.5 million, I'd say, yeah, that seems reasonable, just given the past 4 year cycles. Before we keep going, guys, this is my BTCC link. They have awesome bonuses going on right now. 10% for first time deposits, up to 10 G's per user, right? So take advantage of this. It's a limited times thing. You get reduced trading fees. There's no KYC, right? You don't need to give them any of your personal information. You don't need to use a VPN. You can use this anywhere. Take a look at this. They are a supporter of the channel. Link is down below. Okay, guys, we're going to watch this video. This also has some really good insight. So this is Tom Lee, and I'm probably going to name the title of the video something that has to do with this, right? He says Bitcoin has become a $2 trillion asset. Never in financial history has anything reached $2 trillion and then disappeared. So we're just going to watch a couple seconds of this and then we'll come back.
Bitcoin has now been around for 15 years, and there has not been a Bitcoin 2.0. So there's no crypto 2.0. This is Bitcoin is the surviving chain. And Bitcoin has become a $2 trillion asset, which never in history, financial history, has anything reached $2 trillion and then disappeared. So we're not, it's a different argument if it was $100 billion.
Okay.
The third is the U.S. government is reiterated its commitment to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset.
So Tom Lee saying assets from a financial perspective, after they've reached $2 trillion, they don't just disappear. Bitcoin is here to stay. It's met its threshold, right? It's now in ETFs, right? MicroStrategy owns hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. I think it's 460,000 was the latest number. He's buying more tomorrow morning on Monday, right? I'm filming this Sunday night. He's buying more Monday morning. Bitcoin is here to stay. It's engraved in society. We talked about it's in ETFs. We have 27, I think we're up to 27 states now who are lobbying for a Bitcoin strategic reserve. It's entrenched in society at this point. It really is. Thought this was really insightful too, right? Pomp again with just another fire tweet. He's saying back in 2021, Saquon Barkley, who's now a Super Bowl champion, by the way, Super Bowl just ended. Congrats to the Philadelphia Eagles. He chose to take all of his endorsement money in Bitcoin. At that time, Bitcoin was 35 G's. And I thought this was great, right? He's saying he's going to convert all his money because you want to make generational wealth. I wanted to look at the chart too. This is where we are. We're at 96,000. We've hit 109. This is when Saquon bought. And just think of his mindset at this point. We got all the way up to 64,000. Bitcoin then crashed down to roughly 35. That's when he bought. Talk about having the foresight or the insight to be able to realize, hey, this is going somewhere, right? So he's roughly 3x'd his money on all of those endorsements. And again, this was in 2021 when this came out, and he's 3x'd. We just talked about, okay, what's life going to look like 3 years, 4 years from now, right? Because this was 4 years ago in 2029. And then we said, based off this example here, Pomp's example, okay, what about 7 years from now? Where is Bitcoin going to be in 4 years, in 7 years? The reason that I'm bringing this up is it's so easy to get lost in the day-to-day price action, right? Here we're looking at the weekly chart. I always look at the 4-hour chart because I'm a degenerate. And it's in hindsight, I'm probably losing the forest for the trees or the trees for the forest, right? We need to step back, right? And realize we are investing in a totally new type of technology, right? We need to have the foresight that Anthony Pompliano had when he was talking about Bitcoin in 2018, when Saquon Barkley was converting his endorsement deals in 2021. We need to now have that same ferocity and really just lock down on this investment, because it's shown by in the past that this can have multiples, right? It can really 2, 3, 4, 5, heck, 25x, right? From when Pompliano tweeted this. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. We also have a Discord group here. It's totally free. I'm going to link it down below. That's not I don't want to shill my own stuff a whole lot. I really just want to talk about Bitcoin, where we're at. I really want to know though, what am I missing here, guys? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And what's your time horizon, right? Should we be looking at a couple year horizon? Should we be looking at a 4-year horizon? Should we be looking at a 7-year horizon? Personally, I think Bitcoin is something to have in my portfolio till like the day I die. I hope this is an asset that I can leave to my children. So if you guys got any value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next video.